What up? What's good? What's hot? What's happening? My name is Miss Cosmo, giving you another hot episode of Pop Radio, and of course, I give you the hottest in entertainment, and of course, the best guests who give us that entertainment. And today, I have an all-rounder who's sitting with me, who's going to be chatting to us about his life and how he got into this specific space. I don't even know how to introduce him because he has like 10 names, but we'll go by the one that everybody knows, which is Jesse Suntele, but also known as J Flow.
Yes, sir.
What up?
What's up?
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm very, very good.
Yeah, hey.
How are you?
You're in high spirits.
Hey.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man.
Moving with the times.
I'm very good.
You're raising hell, like your t-shirt there was. You didn't even know it says that.
I knew that it said that. Yeah.
Sure. All right, so Jesse, we're going to start with Jesse before we get into J-Flow.
100%.
Because clearly those are two different people. Jesse, okay, so for those who don't necessarily know where exactly you're from and where you kind of grew up, because I think a lot of people just kind of saw you kind of jumping into the scene as, a rapper at first before you got into the presenting and the acting. Yeah. But you growing up in Bloemfontein, was there a lot of influences that kind of brought you into the space where you were like, you know what, music is actually what I want to do? Or did you not think that you were going to go into like an academic direction? Really?
Not at all. And I was an academic kid.
Really?
Yeah, I was an academic kid. I was top 10 every grade of my entire school life. My dad definitely thought I was going to do something academic. He thought I was going to become an engineer or something. And I was this close to making him happy. But no, dude, I've been rapping since I think my earliest memory of like writing my own stuff is probably like grade 6, something like that.
Really? Okay.
And when I got to high school, but it was just fun stuff. Mostly I was learning other people's raps, learning songs. When I got to high school, I bumped into a dude by the name of, back then, we called him G4.
Okay.
Today, you guys know him as 20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bumped
From
into
Stinoli 20.
Yeah,
Nice.
Stinoli
Okay.
20. Back then, we called him G4, and he put together the hottest rappers in the school.
Okay.
And we moved as a group called EG. And we were taking out dudes left, right, and center.
What was EG standing for?
Okay, funny story. So EG stood for Imperial Gang, right?
Yo, rappers always try to do like the most extreme thing.
That's the most.
Oh my gosh.
Later on, we found out that Imperial is not spelled with an E, but it was too late by then. It was so much fun, man. Rapping in high school was so much fun, even in Bloom specifically, because it was all the fun of making the music without the pressure of the industry.
Yeah.
That we only discovered when we came to Johannesburg, what the music industry was really like.
And how hard it actually is.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back then it was so simple, man. And I say simple, but you still had to be good.
Yeah.
But once you're good, it's easy to get noticed.
Yeah.
You know? So in a small, like, relatively small city like Bloem, man, we just rapped our booties off. We would record we'd record these joints in like some Lezenke freaking studio in the hood by my grandmother's in my grandmother's hood in Rocklands. MDS at that time was recording everybody's music. I don't know if you've ever heard of like dudes like Too Nice, dudes like Esh Gonje. What is he calling himself these days? He used to call himself Sponge Moozy back then.
Yo, the names that you guys cover, the names always come up.
I've been J Flow forever. I picked my name, I ran with it forever. But people were changing their names according to like what was working at the time.
And the vibe, and I guess in the energy.
Fun fact, so G4's name, right? I don't know why I'm spilling facts on him, but
it's fine.
I don't know if he ever says this when he's doing these interviews. So G4 stood for Gangster Force.
Yes, he actually mentioned it because we interviewed him when they dropped their albums, 2020, and he told us about how he used to organize the ciphers. And he had like one cipher that took him out, and he said, "You know what? After this, I think my back is against the wall." And he,
G4 was like a cornerstone in like our little high school rap days.
Okay.
So I don't know if he ever told you the development of his name from G4 to 20.
Nah.
So G4 stood for Gangster Force, right? Then we used to call him 40. G4 developed into 40.
Yeah.
Right? Then 40 developed into fofo 44, right? Then he decided somewhere along the way to half 40 into 2020, and
Yo,
that eventually became
yeah,
what you guys
yeah,
know today as
yeah.
20. Yeah. And then Stino, I knew him. He's my like distant relative, distant cousin. We also
Yeah.
used to rap together back in the day. But yeah, man, I always knew that I wanted to rap. I didn't know that um, the industry was what it is here in Johannesburg, but I always knew I wanted to rap, man, like
Yeah.
forever. Yeah.
So, how did you make the decision for you to then say, okay, I'm not going to take the safe route? Because there does come a time when you have to actually say, okay, I'm actually fully running for this entertainment thing for me to make money out of it. Because it's all good and well, you guys like messing around at school and doing ciphers or whatever,
Yeah.
knowing that you have the talent, but you also have a talent for academics. And you know, academics can put some pretty money in your pocket,
Yeah.
but then you're going to go and take a risk and be a
Sorry,
rapper.
sorry. Zaddy Swag. That's who Sponge Moosey became
Oh,
Zaddy.
I
Y'all
know
know
Zaddy
Zaddy?
Swag. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
hectic.
sorry
Okay.
for the interruption.
No, it's
Yes,
okay.
yeah, you were saying?
So, what was it, or what was that moment that made you decide to go the entertainment route and kind of leave the academics behind and take that risk for you to go straight into it?
Just like even in high school, like towards the end of high school, grade 10, 11, 12, is when I started experiencing the difference between um, happiness and passion versus the academic route versus the academic route that may or may not bring happiness but has a higher chance of success. I started experiencing that back in high school already because I realized how much I did to be like an A student, a really good kid. And I think I tell people these days that it's probably some of the reasons why I don't drink, why I've never like really drank, I've never really smoked. Because I had this like idea in my head that like if you drink, you're a bad kid.
Yeah.
If you smoke, you're a bad kid. And if you're not like 80% like you're average, you're like, you know what I mean?
So
Like I
you're a
had this
nerd,
thing burnt
basically.
into. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was a nerd.
I
I was
mean-
100% a nerd,
I mean-
and not like surface level nerd. Like we'd get to school in the morning. I was the guy who pulled out his Yu-Gi-Oh deck cards, and we'd play Yu-Gi-Oh before the bell rang. I was like
Yeah,
a
no.
super nerd,
Yeah.
super nerd. I still am
So
low-key.
those morals kind of stuck with you, even though you're in a space where alcohol is encouraged, smoking is encouraged.
Crazy, right?
You know what I mean?
I feel like at some point it was just too late. I just decided it was just too late. There was no point anymore. I'd already had so much fun in my life with my friends who do and don't drink and smoke and whatever the case is, and I was like, now I need a reason to start.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody has to give me a reason to start as opposed to a reason not to drink. Back then it was like, no. Now I just don't have a reason to. But yeah, eventually I think in high school I had like an epiphany and I realized that like I saw the rest of my life in front of me and I was like, I could do this academic thing and I'd probably even be successful at it.
Yeah.
But I'd probably be pretty miserable. Like-
At least you got that light bulb very early in your life. 'Cause
Right.
some people only get it much later, you know,
Yeah.
like some of
Yeah.
us. But you know, I mean, look, rather earlier than later, because then you wouldn't have
100%.
wasted time trying to, you know, pursue one thing to make your parents happy as opposed to kind of making yourself happy.
100%.
So the move to Joburg, obviously, because growing up in Bloem is one thing, but now you actually have to physically then say, I'm packing my bags, I'm going after a dream. What was it that actually got you to pick up and go?
So actually, the move to Joburg was me moving back.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I went to school in Joburg. I was born in Joburg first. You know, I only went to Bloem at I think grade 4. Yeah, grade 4.
Okay.
So coming back to Joburg was literally just moving back home
Okay.
after after high school. What made me decide to study sound engineering at the time was literally that was like okay, I'm making a move now. And it's going to start with what I'm going to study. And this will be the foundation for the rest of my life. That was the decision for me, what I decided to study. And when I left high school, I still didn't know what I was going to study. I was so on the fence between like making my dad happy, making my dad proud, making my mom happy, making my mom proud, and making me happy, making me proud. Literally everyone had already applied to all their universities. I sort of, yes, maybe applied for the things that I thought a kid has to apply to, you know,
Yeah.
engineering here, whatever there. And I still wasn't sure, man. When I left high school, I got to Joburg and I was like, I still don't know. Then I found the Academy of Sound Engineering a week before they closed entries.
That's crazy.
I submitted, went to orientation week, and a week later I was studying sound engineering.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And do you appreciate your time that you spent there? Do you think it's actually served you?
Yes, but not for the reasons that you might think. The actual course itself, I'll be honest, man, it was boo-boo, man. Like, I'll be honest,
Wow.
it was quite boo-boo.
Wow.
Like, the idea that you can take something so creative and institutionalize it and
Yeah.
make it so, like, theory-based, I find it so ridiculous, man. I think a lot of our creativity was stifled during those, like,
I hear
2
you.
years.
I
Do
hear
you know what I
you.
mean? Unless you really, really thought that you were going to engineer with a book next to you or create or produce or whatever with a book next to you. The second year, the moment we got into the field and actually started like working with the equipment and actually started getting in studio, that's when we learned the most. Do you know what I mean?
I
The
hear
books
you.
did so little for us, man. And the
Really?
thing is, like 2 years later, those books are outdated. Because the software is updated.
Oh, 'cause it
Everything is like
changes.
changing so
Yeah.
quickly in this industry. You know what I mean? The
I hear
technology is
you.
moving so quick. So
So you think they need to kind of relook at the way that they structure it?
I'm not sure what it looks like now. I'm not sure what their course looks like now. Apparently now it's longer, 4 years,
Whoa.
and apparently it's more theory.
No ways.
So
People don't get into this to read books,
yeah,
man.
I don't
Otherwise,
know. I don't know. Maybe some people do, but most of us. I mean, for example, when we got to second year, half of the guys from first year had dropped out already. Half.
because the theory is actually quite difficult.
It's difficult,
Yeah.
and you don't get what you thought you were coming to get. You know what I mean?
That's
we all
tricky.
thought we were gonna be like crazy beat makers and like, and you don't touch a single piece of software until you get to like second year. You know?
Oh man,
Yeah, it's not like a DJ school, you know, like you get into, like I find like DJ schools, you get into it immediately.
you do,
You know,
yeah.
sound engineering schools have become so institutionalized. Like,
I think it might also have to come in from a qualification perspective and being able to be recognized
that
internationally.
too,
This,
because
that,
I guess the field is also very like broad.
Yeah.
You can engineer scores for movies, and at that level, people are gonna be like, "Where did you? What's your
Yeah.
qualification? Are you a bedroom studio dude trying to produce music for a movie? No, sir." So
I don't. You know what? I'm not mad at that. I feel like bedroom producers produce some of the best stuff, and
I agree
sometimes
with
it's
you.
not even about the theory. It's more so about what does my ear produce. How can I understand what I'm doing? Can I, tell the story the way I need to tell
I
the
agree
story?
with you 100%.
So I don't know. These things kind of move and shake the way that they do. All right. So fast forward now. You're in Joburg. You're doing your thing. I mean, you're wasting time with textbooks, but that's neither here nor there.
yeah.
How do you find out about the hustle? Because I remember when they first spoke about the competition, and they were saying about how people needed to send through a video, and I don't know whether it was through Instagram or whatever the case may
Yeah,
be.
you
You
had
needed
to
to
post-
post.
You had to post your.
And for me, I was just like, at what point did these people firstly hear about them, hear about this competition, and then also then go through that grueling process of being like, nah, not this person. Well, I guess it's better that it's done in a separate space as opposed to being done in person.
Yeah.
But how did you actually hear about the competition for you to enter?
At
And,
the ti-
did you think you were going to get as far as you did?
At the time, like Vuzu was pop culture, dude.
Yeah.
Vuzu was very much integrated into pop culture. We were watching all like the most entertaining stuff on channels like Vuzu, MTV. You know what I mean? Like, so we were watching those shows anyway. And so
Yeah.
when they advertised on the show that this competition is coming up, everybody flocked. Ironically, I actually entered the first season
Yeah.
a day before entries closed. Yeah, clearly this is a thing.
Yeah.
I heard about it late. In my
Yes.
defense, I heard about it late. I entered. I had to write my verses, shoot my videos. I entered like a day before they closed. And at the time, I was also very new to Instagram. In fact, I only downloaded Instagram to enter
Really?
the hustle. Yeah. So my
Okay.
first ever post on Instagram was my
Is it
entries.
still up there?
Probably not. No,
You
I
deleted
definitely
it.
deleted them, and they were so bad, bro. Like my head was chopped off on like one, and like they were so
Selfie
bad.
camera.
So it's obvious that I didn't make it into the first one. Those videos were so bad. The second one I made sure. When season 2 came around, I made sure I wrote the hardest verses. I entered like 6 times.
Yeah.
And I don't think I knew that I was gonna get that far. my idea for getting into that competition, most competitions, is just like to learn as much as possible. Because
Yeah.
where else am I going to sit in front of like industry giants and like
Yeah.
get direct feedback? Like, write a verse, rap a verse, you tell me exactly what's wrong with it immediately.
Yeah.
And not have to go through the process of releasing the whole song.
Yes.
Months later, you find out that actually this is what you did wrong in that song. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where else am I going to get that opportunity? So that was my idea. Just like get in and take the opportunity to like learn as much as possible. And like in a space of a few weeks, become so much better as a rapper. That was my
Yeah.
idea. Yeah.
So now you're doing okay. Well, you've done the hustle. You got as far as you did. You also then went into Top Actor Africa, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. Same thinking around that as well.
Yeah.
But now, obviously, the public knows you for your music.
Yeah.
But we didn't necessarily know that this acting thing was also like a reality for
Yeah.
you. When did
Yeah.
you realize that the acting was a reality for you as an entertainer, nonetheless, of something that you could do to kind of make money? Because sometimes people do things just because, hey man, it's a check.
Because the bag,
Yeah,
right?
you know what I mean?
Okay, rewind back to high school. I was acting in like school plays and stuff. At the same time that I was running around with G4,
Zaddy swag.
you know, Zaddy swag in them.
Yeah.
I was acting in school plays and stuff like that. I really loved it. I knew that I loved it, but I never thought that it was going to be a career. Fast forward a little bit to while I was studying sound engineering, I'm supposed to like, I'm advised to like join a modeling agency. That's how you can make the bag, as you say, like just get an extra income. Sucked at modeling. Landed a couple commercials where they're actually looking for guys who can act. You know what I mean? So that gave me an idea that like maybe my thing is acting, and I enjoyed that more anyway than like the modelly stuff.
Okay.
Signed to an acting agent. I moved from my modeling agency to my acting agent, and it sort of low key started taking off from there, but like very slowly.
Yeah.
So commercials mostly, right? Top Actor was my idea of, okay, now I'm gonna tell the world that I'm serious about this.
Yes.
Right? I've already studied what I wanted to study. I'm not gonna now start a new course in like performing arts or acting or whatever the case is. But here's an opportunity to tell the world that I am serious about acting too, and I love it. And the other advantage is if this thing works out, it's gonna pull my music career with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So anything I want to do on the music side, if this works out, it's gonna benefit from it. So I entered Top Actor with the same mindset, as you said, just to like learn as much as I can, and so that everyone who studied this thing doesn't look at me and feel like I just came off the street corner to like say,
Yes.
hey guys, I can act. Take a chance on me. I wanted to show everybody that like I really could do this thing, and that was Top Actor for me. Learn as much as I can as well. That one obviously went way better than the hustle.
But I do think some people, I think those who check for both competitions might recognize you from both, but some people might only know you from the hustle,
one.
and other people might only know you from
the
Top
other,
Actor.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So I think they both served a purpose in their individual kind of spaces.
100%.
And I think that also then leads to how you've kind of grown your brand as well. But then there was also presenting in the middle of that as well, when
That was for the bag. That's as
you know.
simple as that. I was good at it. I enjoyed it. I was good at it. But I didn't think I was going to be the world's best presenter or anything
Yeah.
like that. No. It was an opportunity to get into the industry. I know that all these industries are linked.
Yeah.
I'd watched Shane Eagle do it.
Why are you singling out Shane?
I mean,
You saying because he's a rapper who
because he's a
presented?
rapper who presented as well. Like it's the most, like it's the closest, And at the time, I was also following guys like Will Smith who started acting, but I mean, who did music and acting at the same time.
Yeah.
I read Drake's story, how he started acting and became a rapper. I
Yeah.
realized that like this thing of boxing one career at a time is like, it's really just an illusion that we sort of paint for ourselves or that people, paint onto us. So I really didn't have any false ideas of like, if I do this, I'm going to lose out here. Or if I do that, I'm going to lose out there. I figured everything is going to work together. So any opportunity that came, I was like, let's go.
Let's just run with it. Let's just run with it. All right. So at what point, I I guess obviously now you're at a point where you've done Top Actor Africa. You've also then done The Hustle. You are getting the bag in the middle with BET.
You know.
Just trying to pay some rent. Make some change.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna hate on that. Don't worry, everybody
Yeah.
does it. But then you need to start now focusing on which one you're gonna do, because music is still a very big passion for you, and you're still recording and trying to release. Did you not have a little bit of a conflict as to which one needed more of your attention at the time?
Yeah, of course I did. I still do.
Oh, okay.
I still do. I don't think it's a question that's ever gonna leave me, because there's always that voice in the back of your head that feels like, that tells you that the one you pay the most attention to is the one that's gonna grow the most, right? And the irony is, when you hear that voice, you don't hear what it's actually saying is, yo, this one's gonna die if you don't pay attention to this one. And that scares me, because I don't want to let go of either of them. I love acting. I love making music. I still believe that one doesn't have to die for the other one to live.
Yeah.
So it's always going to be a conflict. It's always going to be okay, now I'm focusing on music. Okay, now I'm focusing on acting. But honestly, so far, it's been like the universe that has just told me, take some time out to do this now.
Yeah.
Take some time out to do that now. The
Okay.
universe is sort of, on its own accord, giving me the time to focus on one when it's really popping, and then things roll off on one, and all the creative ideas on the other side are coming.
Okay.
And it feels like now it's a natural time for me to like focus on that and get in studio and do that. So I think I'm really lucky in that sense. Also, I think I'm really lucky in the sense that I don't think I'm really under pressure to like for some dudes, and maybe it's a good thing for them, right? It's a good thing for them to like, music is do or die for them. Do you know what I mean? But the pressure is on. Some people that pressure is not good for them, because that pressure makes them very like wayward in what they're creating. Like, whatever's hot right now, I'm jumping on that because I need to put food on my table. You know what I mean? For me, luckily, like I said, the universe has given me an opportunity to create freely. I can make whatever music I want to and express myself however the hell I want to, and not have to like worry about if it's gonna pop or not.
Yeah. Speaking about that, actually, I was about to jump into that, because anybody who kind of listens to your music understands that you are also very particular in the type of sound that you produce.
Yeah.
I mean, some would characterize it as boom bap. Other people would say it's a little bit more conscious, as opposed to far more like bubblegum, which is fine, because I mean, there's a space for that.
Of course.
But for you, have you never felt the pressure, especially now where things are changing globally? Everybody's looking at South Africa, but they're looking at us for like dance music and all these other things. And then everybody's just like, oh, we need to maybe catch the wave because now everyone's looking at us. Do you ever feel the pressure for you to kind of conform and say, let me do something real bubblegum right now so people can actually recognize my name in this music thing?
Not ever. I won't lie to you, like, not ever. And that doesn't mean that I'll never make commercial music. And I think that's the beauty of it. If I do make commercial music, it's because I want to make commercial music, not because I ever feel like I'm under pressure to do it. I feel like every time I've been under pressure to like make something, somebody's like, yo man, you gotta, I feel like it's always come out second par, and it's the stuff I hate the most, stuff I never even end up releasing. Do you know what I mean? I've never felt like I really, really try to avoid pressure, man. But I do agree with you. There's a space for commercial music, dance music, whatever's hot at the time, whatever genre's hot at the time. There is a space for it. If I ever make that music, it'll be because I want to.
Okay.
And I feel like that gives space up here for those ideas to come in more freely. I'll explore it properly and really figure out how to like make it sound good. But I watched like Andre 3000's recent interview with
with the flute.
Yeah, with the flute vibes. Eh?
Ooh, 3000, what is happening?
Yeah, I might make flute music tomorrow.
No,
eh?
please don't do that.
No, I'm kidding.
We've gotten enough from him, please. Thank you.
I know, right? But he said something that I found quite interesting. He said this thing is happening for him in real time as it is happening for us. So while we're waiting and watching to see what he's going to come out with next, he says he's also waiting to see what he's going to come out with next. And it's just as a surprise for him as it is for the audience. And I feel like, personally, that's a beautiful thing. And I like that. I prefer that for myself. And I'll tell you now, that's what I think my experience has been.
Okay.
I don't know what my sound is going to be like tomorrow. I don't know what it was like yesterday. For all you know, it could sound completely different. And I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying really just like getting into studio. I sounded like boom bappy yesterday.
Yeah.
Today I'm singing. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
I feel like, and I'm getting it wrong, by the way.
Okay.
So
I'm
let's
glad-
take some time to like
Okay.
figure out how to get this right. And when we
Okay.
get it right, it's like,
Okay.
good.
That's dope.
now I'm done with that. Let's try something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
ever feel, from a hip hop perspective, because I know hip hop fans can feel very like they like to keep people in a box to say, we know you to be this guy. Stay in this box so that we can keep knowing what to expect from you as this guy. But now you're out and you are acting, you are presenting, you're doing other things, and you've become this really like big brand that sometimes hip hop might not be able to understand because they want you in a box. Have you ever felt that your fans have kind of tried to keep you in a certain space to not let you do other things?
Yeah. The irony is that I used to be that guy.
Oh,
Back in high school, like
okay.
battle rappers were the top tier rappers. Like even if you're a commercial rapper, if you don't have battle rap skill, you're not a great rapper. Like Eminem is like commercial success, but damn, like that
Yeah.
dude, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to do that too. I felt like hip hop was rap, like rap, conscious rap. When Kanye West came out with Heartbreak and 808, I was like, what is this dude doing? Like, come on, bro. You're singing, the whole album is singing, boom, 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 boom. What is this, dude? Today, Heartbreak and 808 is one of my favorite Kanye West albums of all time. And I realized that's what it is. Like, yes, to answer your question, my fans to a certain extent have, some of them, felt like, we prefer you like this, keep doing this. And I'll tell you how I see that. When I release like modelly, posy, like pretty boy pictures and stuff like that, that's where all the engagement and likes are like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when I'm releasing music, it's like a handful, right, of people that are like engaging
So
with
you
that.
can hear them.
I can hear them. They're talking to me. They're telling me what they prefer. But for me, that doesn't tell me that I should stay in that box. For me, that tells me that, one, I have a handful of people who really want to listen to this, number one. Number two, it tells me that, like, this other side is very fickle, yo. Because when I look at, like, the stuff that I release here that gets the least engagement, it's the same people that are riding for it. They're like, yo, we're hungry for new music.
Yeah.
When are you releasing? When are you still in studio? Are you working on it? I'm like, yeah, don't worry, it's coming. This side, tomorrow it's like a new 1,000 people. The next day it's another 1,000 people. It's very fickle.
Yeah.
So that's what I get from like all of that. But yes, to a certain extent, people do try to box you. But for me, like I said with Kanye West, the end goal is more important. They'll get it one day.
Yeah.
They'll get it one day.
I mean, as long as they're there for the ride, that's what's important.
That's the thing.
Because you want them to stay with you.
100%. I
Yeah.
also think it's going to be very fun for them to say, we were here when he was that guy, all the way until when he became this artist that he said he wanted to become. And it was fun to watch because we
Yeah.
weren't sure what was going on here. He looked like he was slipping.
Yeah.
But damn, like, look at him now. Like,
Yeah.
I love it. I understand it now. I
That's
get it. I
dope.
get what he was trying to do.
I'm glad that they're at least sticking with you because sometimes, you know, people can be very like, nah, I don't understand this thing,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm
out.
I'm out.
Yeah.
But it's dope that they're willing to kind of experience the growth with you and
Yeah.
kind of move with you.
Yeah.
Talking about the growth and brand, you know, development. Obviously, the acting is doing a lot more right now, which is really dope. We're gonna jump into that in a
Yeah.
moment. But do you ever think that you will ever consolidate the two and just represent yourself as one or the other? So, as in, like, when you are being announced, whether you are rapping or whether you are acting, you'd either be J Flow or Jesse. As in, like, get rid of one of them.
That is the irony, you know what the ironic thing is? The fact that you're asking me that question is evidence of the fact that people want to know that. They want to know if it's ever going to be one or the other. And it's exactly what you're saying. People feel like they should be a one or the other. And then I'm like, yeah, but Childish Gambino.
I get that.
And then I'm like, yeah, but so again,
But it's confusing. And do you know what?
100%.
Do you know what it is? And I'm not disputing your example. And maybe let me give you a little bit of where my thinking is that
yeah.
especially for you who's still trying to, kind of harness yourself in this entertainment industry. Yes, you are recognizable, but you're still trying to grow. You're still trying to
Yeah,
get yourself
yeah,
to the next
100%.
level. It's easier to kind of streamline to one name, one
Yeah,
moniker, so then
yeah,
people know, okay, if I'm on Apple Music, I'm still checking for the right name. If I'm
yeah.
checking on IMDb, I'm checking for
Yeah,
the
for the
same
right
name.
name. Yeah,
Do you know what I
100%.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I still view my career as in its egg phase.
Okay.
I still see it as very, very new. So when I think of the end goal and where I'm trying to go, I have to make plans now that fit that, not what it looks like now. Um, and the end goal is for me to be known as Jesse the creator, the creative. It's never just going to be one thing. I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you that now. If you're hoping I'm going to separate and decide on one, it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I might be a director. Tomorrow I might be a painter. Tomorrow I might be whatever other creative art that's coming in the next 10 years. Maybe I'll dabble in that. It'll always be Jesse the creator. That'll be the one. If you want to pick one thing, it'll be Jesse the creator. That'll be it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at
Yeah.
that at all. I think it makes it. Mm, I think it just gives a little bit of direction to some people,
Yeah.
and not necessarily to say you're ostracizing the others.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're gonna get into a point where you're now expanding your music and you're giving us flutes, or or it's an R&B album,
Do you know what I mean?
at least you can then say it's still Jesse though. You know what I mean?
100%.
Because you can't be the flutes with J Flow. Well, I
think-
mean, the flutes are flowing, but I don't know.
No, but I get what you mean. I get what the
Yeah.
question is, but it'll always be, I'll always do everything, and everyone will always come back to Jesse. When he does that, it's good. When he does
Yeah.
that, it's good. When he does that, it's good. That's my main focus. I just want to make sure that whatever I do, it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So getting into the acting spaces, obviously that's a huge part of your career now. And especially after doing that competition, it's kind of exposed you to that type of space. At first glance, whenever you walk into these rooms and people hear your name, do they not expect you to be female? Does that not like get to you? Does that happen often?
No.
Well, maybe not now, but I'm thinking
That's-
maybe earlier on in the career. Because now you're recognizable, but I think before, maybe they would just see a name on a piece of paper and expect you to be female.
No, not in this industry. That's only ever happened like in admin spaces,
Ah.
ironically. Like I'll show up to an event and I'll be like, and what's your name? Jesse.
Oh,
That's you?
Gwen.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, not only is he a guy, he's a black guy. Yeah.
Oh,
Jesse.
That you?
Yeah. No, not in this industry. I don't think
Okay.
anyone has ever imagined that. I don't think I've ever experienced that.
Okay.
No,
Or
no.
maybe it's
I'm
been
lucky.
maybe it's been moments that they haven't told you about it. But
Yeah,
they're
maybe
like,
they.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
maybe they. Yeah, in the background. There.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. No, well, it's just one of those things. The way
Yeah.
sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But of course, getting yourself into the acting space. Did you think you were gonna find yourself in spaces where you're doing a telenovela and then moving into a lot of the streaming type of shows? Because now that's where your big focus is. Do you
Yeah.
kind of plan that, or do you say you only want to stick into the telenovela box and not necessarily want to experience other things?
No. It's half planned. It's half not.
Okay.
The acting industry is very much, especially like I said, if you consider yourself in the beginning of your career, I just imagine where I want to be, and by comparison, I feel like I'm still at the beginning of my career, right? And if you feel like you're still at the beginning of your career, then automatically you're still grabbing as many opportunities as you can.
Yeah.
So not a lot of it is very structured. It's still very, here's a chance that could turn into that one day, I'm taking it. That could turn into that one day, I'm taking it. But yes, my preferred direction right now is definitely the streaming platforms, because before streaming ever came to us, I wanted to be a movie actor, not a series actor,
okay.
not a soapy, not a telenovela actor. I wanted to be a big screen actor, right? I still do. but big screen is now small screen. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, it
The
is.
difference is back then, movies and series were separated by big screen and small screen.
Yes.
Now movies are big screen and
And
small
small
screen.
screen, yeah.
So that's what the streaming platform has done for us and done for me. I can focus on doing shows with streaming platforms and be the big screen actor,
Yeah.
acting like movie budget, movie production,
Yeah.
productions,
Yeah.
and that's what it's done for me, and I really love it. I'm really loving that space
Mm.
more than the telenovela type stuff. But that's also sharpening my skills. That's sharpening my knife set because I act more often on those,
Yes.
so I get more of a workshop.
Yes, I was
you
actually
know?
about to ask that because I know some actors have said that, obviously, yes, the big budget movie thing is because it's big budget, so people will know you for that particular role. But now I think it's more about screen time
Yeah.
because
Oh, that's true.
out of sight, out of mind, because you could go 3 years without releasing a movie, but
That's
you
very
being on a
true.
series is 6, 8 episodes, 10 episodes of them seeing your face as opposed to seeing you once for 1 hour.
100%.
You know?
I feel like that's what the acting industry has turned into as well.
Yeah.
You are your own billboard. You are your
Yeah.
own advert. It's like music now, the more time you take off of it, the more people are like, also because it's more saturated now. There's a lot of
Yes.
options.
Woo.
If I don't see Jesse, it's fine. Like
Yeah.
there's another dude.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it is very out of sight, out of mind to a certain extent. Hopefully your skill and your talent will separate you from that. Hopefully you'll become the Adele or Rihanna of acting, and like whenever you come back, people are still hungry to see you in your new role.
Yeah.
But until that moment comes, it's very out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
So we work as much as we can. But also for those of us who didn't study acting, that's how we sharpen our skills, by being on set as much as possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of all the shows that you've done, including the soapies, telenovelas, and the things that you've done on the series, on the streaming platforms and so forth, which do you think is your favorite role that you've played?
But oh man. Okay, two. Uh Okay, two. So the Queen's role is definitely gonna stay with me forever. Not only because it changed my acting career, like that was like my first big lead.
Yeah.
But also because it was really difficult to play that role, serial killer
Really?
type vibes. Yeah, it was really difficult to
Okay.
play that role.
Why do you have to like tap into a dark side that you just don't have?
I mean, who says that?
Wow.
Hey, but yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
Okay.
It's exactly what it is. It's like, damn, okay, cool. So how do I start doing research on a role or a character that I have never and will never ever be in my real life? And that's where the difficulty starts. And like, so me and I forget her name. I feel so bad. It was so many years ago. The production manager at the time helped me with a couple of links to like some really
She got you into a dark
gruesome
place.
stuff. Yeah.
What did you watch?
I was looking at dudes like Anais. What's this dude's surname? Anais.
I can Google that. for
South
you.
African serial killer.
Okay. Others?
What's this dude's name, man? I can't remember what his name was. But I was researching like South African serial killers and
Yeah.
like watching their interviews and how remorseless these dudes are. And it was like, it was tricky, man.
Yeah.
It was really like tricky to watch that, like, here, outside. Like, it's one thing to watch ID,
Anais Mate.
Anais Mate.
Oh, Sbongi Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Anais Mate, man.
Yeah.
These dudes, it's so crazy to find that, like, next door,
Yeah.
there's a guy that's the same as, like, freaking Dharma, or, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, here, there's some dude who's, like, kidnapping and serial, like, he's a serial killer, like, and up here type serial killer.
Doesn't that mess with you when you have to like become this crazy person?
So, luckily, I'm not a method actor.
Okay.
I'm not Konja, who's our famous method actor example, the Joker,
Oh, Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger. Luckily,
Yeah.
I'm not Heath Ledger. I don't have to change my real life to fit into a role. It works for method actors. It doesn't work for me. I prefer to step out of a role when I'm done with it. In fact, on set, when it's cut, I'm out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So for the most part, it doesn't sit up here. It sucks to now know that there's dudes out there like that.
But it's a real world. I mean,
But it's a real world, you know.
Yeah.
It exposes you to something that's really real that you may never have known. And I think that's the fun thing about acting. It's that you can experience so many different people's lives without ever actually experiencing the consequences.
yeah.
If I can put it that
hear
way, you know what I
hear
mean?
you. You can have fun with it and stab someone, but you're not really stabbing
And
them.
do you know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
get that. I
Yeah.
get that.
It's very interesting. And
Do
I'm
you,
very
do
interested
you get the
in, like,
same rush as people say? Apparently, there's like an adrenaline rush when you stab somebody. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but apparently that's
it's a different kind of rush, I imagine.
Okay.
I don't imagine like a guy who's stabbing someone in real life has. Oh snap! Now that I'm saying it, maybe he does have like an excitement. Like maybe it is fun for him.
because that's why they keep going back. Because there's something that
100%.
draws them to keep going back to do
Damn.
it, and it's that rush that they need to now tap into. The same way people will have alcohol or take drugs. They're
That is so
chasing the
true.
same high.
On a chemical level, it's probably the
Yes.
same thing. It's the same dopamine rush
Yes.
as like you get that from the gym, you get that from music. He gets that from like
That's madness.
That's actually so true.
Yeah.
Um,
The second role?
the second role is I have to say my role on Savage Beauty. I think he's just such a fun character, man. He is such a douchebag. So
Wow.
nonchalant about life.
Yeah.
So happy-go-lucky. But at the same time, the whole weight of the world is on his shoulders. It's so fun experiencing something like that. And also, like, it's juxtaposed by all the, like, other serious characters.
Yeah.
The other characters are so real about life. And he's, like, so... Yeah, man. So carefree, so fun. It almost makes you wish you could be that without
Yeah.
without the consequences.
Yeah.
But in real life, if you were that guy,
Yeah.
it's not gonna last very long.
But I mean, obviously, it also kind of pushes you in certain levels because you need to kind of do things which are you wouldn't necessarily do on a camera. I mean, I think you started Savage Beauty first episode. You're there, bums out. You know,
It wasn't bad. I think we used a stunt double or something like that.
You're not
Like,
too
I
sure?
think I'm not sure, but I think.
and I'm
we had
bringing
a-
that, and I'm bringing that up only because we've seen a very huge influx of like sex scenes in
Yeah.
South African television, which is different for us because as
Yeah,
South
very
Africans
new
we're
still.
very conservative.
Yeah.
We're still very much kwenzakalani la ku-TV bamenzani ukhanya why is
Yeah.
that happening? Do you know what I mean? So how do you now prepare for yourself to get into a scene like that where you have to still make it look real even though there's like 1,000 people on set?
Well, I mean, the industry helps us a lot
Yeah.
if you're on a good production, and maybe this is like something that other aspiring actors watching this should know, that the difference between whether or not you're on a good production is if your production actually helps you be comfortable in scenes like that. You have to be able to have the conversations beforehand about what you can and cannot do. And a lot of them are like, okay, cool. If you can't do that, then
Bah.
yeah. A lot of them are like that. So
Do you think it's
it does
becoming a
get tricky.
prerequisite
To a certain extent, yes.
for shows to have a
To a
sex
certain
scene?
extent, yes.
That's crazy. Because what do they get out of it?
And I don't think people realize it actually. So I have the same question. And like any industry, there are those who want as many eyes as possible, and there are those who just want to create something that's gonna like be really good. Do you know
Where
what I
it
mean?
works for the scene. Because sometimes it just feels like it's not working,
It's
for,
not
the
working
scene.
for the scene,
And then
right?
you're like, but why
Exactly.
did we watch this?
Thank you. And those are the guys who just want as many eyes as possible. When you
Okay.
watch a series and you realize that like that episode was trending because of that,
Yeah.
oh my God, let me go watch the show, and the rest of it is boo boo.
Yeah.
Then you're like, so okay, you
yeah.
guys clearly just wanted us to watch the show for that.
Yeah.
And I hate shows like that. I hate shows like that so much. Being a part of them, watching them, I hate shows like that so much. And you're right, you can tell as an audience member that like that was just, you know. So for some shows, I feel like Savage Beauties, for example, where they're written in, and it works with the storyline. Like you watch Game of Thrones and you don't remember how many like naked people were on that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it worked for the show. It worked for the grittiness of the show. You watch like, I always use this as an example. Django, and everyone remembers how much they love Django. They don't remember that like Jamie Foxx's like junk was all over our screens, like the
whole
whole
time.
thing, dog. The whole thing was dangling upside down. Like, do people remember that? No. But
Yeah.
it worked for like the storyline of like the brutality or whatever, the rawness of the movie. And
Yeah.
so I'll read something like Moonlight, for example,
Yeah.
was a film about like gay dudes and like homosexuality, but like the storyline was so good. You don't think gay movie.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
But I guess that's why it won so many Oscars. Yeah.
so I tried to figure out when I read the script, like I tried to figure out why we're doing this.
Yeah.
You know?
So now are they challenging you? Because I know you're shooting season 2 right now. Do you think or do you see? I know you can't talk about it, but do you see the growth of your character a little bit more than in season 1? Are you appreciating that? Really?
A lot. My character grows so much.
Oh, shame. Because I had Mposi being here the other day. I was like, my brother, we're not going to see you in season 2. He's so mad. He's just like, yeah, I won't be there.
Let me tell you a sad story, dude.
Yeah.
So, Paul's my boy, right? So, I bump into them at, where do we bump into each other? I can't remember where it was.
Yeah.
Dude, do I not say, see you in season 2, guys? And I forgot, like I completely forgot. I was so sure, and I'll tell you why. Because when I watched season 1, me and Tutu say this all the time. Like, of all the characters, dog,
He shouldn't have died.
should not have died, man.
I was also just like, not you.
Not only was he good in it, but his character felt like
Yeah.
someone that needed to stick around for a bit,
And I really feel
man.
like he could have given us extra for
so
the second season.
much.
But he can't, unless he comes back as a ghost. I don't know. So
That's always the thing, man. Like, ooh. Nah, man. But season 2 is crazy.
Yeah.
Season 2 is wild. Season 1 was like, season 1 was good, and I felt like it built such a great foundation for the show. Season 2 gets really crazy.
That's
like,
awesome. The production also looks amazing, I think, also just from a viewer's perspective.
Yeah.
Because we're looking back, we're like, there's so much that has been spent on the show, and you guys are doing really well.
and you'll see it.
Exactly. And you
Yeah.
can see it in the final product, because when you're watching, you're just like, oh my gosh, I need more of this.
Yeah.
And there's no like bad reviews, or I mean, obviously people will have their criticisms, but like it wasn't as I don't think it was trashed. It was more so applauded for what it did. So shout outs to Savage Beauty for that. What did it do for you from an international perspective? Because being on Netflix and being on MultiChoice are two different things.
So first thing obviously is international fans.
Yeah.
It's really cool to get shout outs from like all over the world.
Yeah. But does it not like open up for you to kind of tap in and be like, maybe I need to go and visit this space, or maybe I can find myself getting jobs in this space or whatever?
100%, that's what it is for me.
Yeah.
A worldwide release tells me that like there's the dream of like a worldwide career is so much closer now.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is in this industry. Really, it's really like, what have you done?
Yeah.
And is that thing good, or did people know about that thing? It's one of the two.
Yeah.
And so if it's both, then it's great, you know. Because tomorrow when I audition for an international show, it'll be my audition was good, but also we also did that.
Yeah.
We also did that.
That's dope.
And it does open doors for like bigger, better projects.
Yeah. And there's just been a release of In Your Dreams, which is on Amazon Prime.
For example.
And I'm sure you're geeked about this because it's more sci-fi,
Yeah,
you know, like
Yu-Gi-Oh boys worldwide, you know what I'm saying? Pokemon boys, what's up?
you were in your bag with this one. You're just like, this is me.
Chess boys, what's
Let's
up?
So how was it kind of portraying that type of a role, which is a little bit way more removed compared to what you have done in the past?
It is completely different to anything I've ever done. The show is completely different to anything I've ever done before, and I love it.
Yeah.
Like you said, the geek in me is so stoked.
Because sometimes as South Africans, we worry about the sci-fi shows because they don't do as well as the drama.
100%. So our director, our creator, Gareth, said this, right? He was like, for this genre, you also have to be aware of what you're making.
Yes.
And you have to know what you're making and where you're making it. And be aware that like it's possible, as in this case, that this is one of those shows where it's going to be a hit with some and a miss with others. And the ones that it hits, it's going to hit hard.
Yeah.
And the ones that it misses, it's just because it's not their preference. So don't take it personally. Do you know what I mean? And that's why shows like this, it's like music as well. Certain genres may not do well here, and you might find out that this artist has been touring Europe for the past couple of months. We don't even know them here at home.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's what it is, you know. The Antwoord like left us, dog. Immediately they were like, "We
They're like,
good.
screw this
Like,
place."
I don't get Zeph. It's fine. We out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what this movie is.
Okay.
I think it's something that it has such a great international appeal, and I think that if South Africans watch it for that purpose, they'll realize that it's just a good show.
And it's shot well.
It's shot so well.
Okay.
And the guys that did the CGI and
Yeah.
the green screen and the monsters and demons and ghosts and robots and name it, they
Yeah.
are so good. By the way, 2 guys.
Really?
Yeah, these Hollywood studios that do all of these shows normally have like an entire department of like special effects, a whole special effects department. 2 guys worked on this show,
Really?
and did all the CGI for this show.
That's
it's a
dope.
small team. They're like an indie label.
Okay.
But they create incredible stuff, man, with the freedom of being an indie label.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see how that kind of grows and how it also grows for you as well and takes things for you to the next level. Do you ever find that you possibly get like I don't know, like a little bit of a conflict in the acting space? Because I remember speaking to one person before who, obviously, because, you know, like sometimes actors get into like DJing and obviously, or like
Yeah,
music,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
it's like, oh, but now you're doing too many things.
Yeah.
And the acting space is very like, if you're a thespian, you must be 1000%
yes.
a purist.
Yeah, to
You
be
cannot
or
do
not to
anything.
be. That
You
is the
cannot do
question,
anything
yes.
else. And you're out here still doing your music thing. Do they not like, I don't know, not necessarily typecast, but like bog you down for that to then say, rapper or whatever.
Not really serious
Yeah.
about it. 100%.
How do you navigate that?
I don't care.
Okay.
Actors
I mean,
don't.
there's that.
You know, like, to be honest with you, there's something I realized a while ago that like I find very ridiculous about us as creatives. We create to impress other creatives.
Yeah.
And I find it so ridiculous because the people who are going to watch our work, listen to our music, are not other musicians. Like, I'm not like 50 Cent is not going to buy Eminem's album.
Yeah.
They know each other. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So why would Eminem make music to impress 50 Cent?
I hear you.
So with that being, like, I say that to say an actor's not going to determine my career. Another actor's not going to determine my career. Some of them are really like open to it and they're like, oh, that's really cool. You make music too? Those guys are all the awesome dudes, right? Then there are other people that are like, you're not really serious about this acting thing because you
Yes.
also make music on this. I'm rapper, man, as
Yeah.
you say. And like, as I said, I don't act for you to watch the show. You're not going to watch the show or even care about it. When you watch it, you're probably going to be like, he sucks at this. He's good at that. You're going to watch it very critically. The people who are going to watch it just because of the thing that was created, those are the guys that I act for. Those are the
Yeah.
guys that I make music for.
That's
and
dope.
those guys don't give a damn as long as what I'm doing is good.
Yeah.
They're not going to sit there and be like, he acted yesterday. I'm not going to listen to his music.
Mm-hmm.
Or he made music. I'm not going to watch him. Like, nobody's going to do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's the reality of the situation. You're not going, if it's good, you're not going to do that. And those are the
Yeah.
people I create for. So,
Yeah. I think it helps to have a don't care attitude. Otherwise, you're never going to create. You're
like,
never going to take it to
exactly.
the next level.
I mean, I'm still working on that, to be honest with you. I'm
Yeah.
not going to act like I've got this thing down to a T.
Yeah.
As a creative, you always worry about whether this thing is going to like create a life for you or not. But for the most part, I couldn't give a hoot what other creatives' opinions are on what I'm creating.
I
Do you
hear
know what I
you.
mean? Yeah.
Do you ever get issues with some of your tattoos? Because I see sometimes like actors will be in a position where it's hard, like they need to cover certain tattoos, or maybe they can't do certain shows because they've got this or whatever, and the character is not that type of person to have it. Does that kind of affect some of the
I used
roles
to
that you
think
get?
about that a lot. My first tattoo was so hidden. It's like under my arm. I was like, should I get this tattoo? Let me get it really small, hidden, so that when I act, they don't. And then the industry changed, like any industry.
Yeah.
Models on billboards are head to toe
Yeah.
neck tattoos.
Tattoo.
Some of them have face tattoos. Actors have tattoos. And then I realized that, like, also, it's really not that deep. If they want you, they want you.
Yeah.
Tattoos can be covered up.
What do these mean, by the way? Because I mean, anybody will just look at them and be like, "Okay, you could have just bought some bracelets, but now you've tattooed your arm."
I've got bracelets and
Like-
bracelets.
So obviously they've got some sort of significance.
Yeah, all my tattoos are like very significant to me. All my tattoos have like a special meaning. It was a moment in my life where an epiphany came to me, and I felt like this is something I need to remember for the rest of my life. Like life advice to myself. Like, you know, when they ask you, what would you tell 12-year-old you, or
Yeah.
what would you tell future you? That's what my tattoos are for me. And I can explain the biggest one, the most evident one. This is the nerd in me.
Of course. Okay.
So I love like space and anything to do with like space, and I'm very fascinated by like the universe, the physical universe, and not the spiritual universe.
Yeah.
But that too. So this is a little bit of both.
Okay.
Yo, Noni, you're gonna think I'm such a nerd after this, guys. Yo, okay, but it's fine.
We don't have all day, please.
Okay, so this is the physical representation of the helium atom.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Are we done? Are we full stop there? Okay. Are you done?
So it's basically a whole like
this
scientific
is a
thing.
story, yeah. This is a bit of a
Okay.
story.
All right.
This one specifically. So it looks like it's one tattoo, but there are actually 3 tattoos.
Wow.
These 3. So this is the helium atom,
Yeah.
and it's the smallest known atom in the universe.
Yes,
Everything
yes.
is made of helium. Starts off as a helium atom, and this is sort of like an arrow, but I didn't want to do a basic arrow, so I made a triangle. This says nova, which is short for supernova.
Okay.
And in the life cycle of a star, it starts out as a helium atom and explodes and dies as a supernova. To me, this tattoo reminds me that no matter how small you are or no matter how little you have, you can always work your way towards your supernova, your
Dope.
ball of blazing glory at the end of your journey.
Yeah.
So always remember that you can die out as this great thing, no matter how small you turn out. And that's the summarized version. So that's
Okay.
what this means. Yeah. This is basically instead of the infinity sign, this is a life cycle as well.
Okay.
It represents life, death, and life again.
Okay.
It just reminds me that there's something more after this.
On the other side.
And
Okay.
it reminds me to live life with that in mind, that you can make decisions that will make your life great here, but how are you gonna, this is like a blink. If you believe that there's something after this, then keep that in mind. This means hate less, love more. I just didn't want to write the words, so that says hate, that says less, love is in red, more is in black.
And that's all, folks.
And that's all, folks.
I'm kidding. That's amazing. Like the fact that you actually sit and you conceptualize like this, because I know
Yeah.
tattoos are very like permanent. You have to think about what they mean to you, why you want to put them the way that they do. So it's dope to see how you've actually made sense of it. And I hope other people who get tattoos also think about things and not just get cartoon characters because
You
they're
know
cool.
what I mean? Okay, but
Yeah.
then I always say this, like, when it comes to people who get tattoos, I also feel like, do you, man? Like,
Yeah.
some people really look at their bodies as like a canvas.
Yeah.
I know people who walk into a tattoo store, have no idea what they're gonna get, and they tell their tattoo artist, dude, here's a space,
Have fun.
fill it up, do
Yeah.
something. And it's not the same kind of expression, but at the end of the day, it's some kind of expression, And
Yeah.
I feel like if that's what you want to do
Do
you, man.
you? I dig
You know?
that.
But also be okay with like tomorrow.
Yes.
If you can't land that
When it's
job,
awkward.
you know what I'm saying? When
Yeah.
or if the tattoo is saying, 10 years later,
When it's
be
looking like
okay
a
with
prison
that.
tattoo.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it needs to be revised
Yeah,
because wow.
yeah.
All right. So, is there anything that you could possibly tell a younger you of any lessons that you've learned today that you can kind of throw back to that boy in Bloom, rolling with the G-force?
With gangster
And the
force and imperial gang. Yo, we were so cool in high school, guys. You ever heard? You know that song, AKA's High School Cool?
Yeah.
Yes, I love that song. It reminds you of like how cool we were in high school, man.
Or how cool you thought you were?
Or how cool we thought we were. What would I tell a younger me, man? I would say, you know that saying about investing?
Yeah.
The best time to invest was 10 years ago. The second best time is now. I would say that in terms of investing in your future, man. Like,
Nice.
do it now. That idea that you have time to do it, mess it up, and start again. Do it now, bro. Don't start with the 9 to 5, then think you're going to create later. You're not going to do it. It's not going to work that way. I see that in so many people. How many stories have you ever heard of like people who started off doing this 9 to 5, like freaking climbing a corporate ladder, then choose to become a creative later and don't have any regrets about I wish I started earlier.
Yeah.
Some of them do become successful, but how many of them feel like, man, I wish I did this earlier?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I hear you.
Rather start now, fail at it, and decide if you still want to do this for the rest of your life. You have time
That's dope.
to start again. So, yeah, man, whatever you have on your mind, do it now.
That's dope,
Yeah,
man.
that's what I would say.
Well, outside of the shows that are on streaming platforms, is there anything else that you're kind of working on that we can look forward to, music-wise, TV
yes.
show-wise, that you can talk about? Yeah, man, give us a little bit of a shouty-outy and where people can follow you on social media.
100%. Okay, so obviously, In Your Dreams is out.
Yes.
I'm so excited. The first 3 episodes are out. Go watch it. It's like nothing you've watched before in SA. The other 3 episodes are going to come out, I think, next week. Let us know what you think about the show. It's very fun. Look out for season 2 of Savage Beauty. We are...
When's that set to drop? We don't have dates yet.
Don't have dates.
Okay.
Don't have dates. We're still finalizing all the production and the editing and it's their side now, the production side.
Also, you're done shooting?
Yeah.
Oh, dope.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're done shooting. It's but look out for it. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be really good. Music, as I said earlier on, is completely different to what I've released in the past. I hope you guys like it.
Okay.
But it's good.
Okay.
It's so good.
Okay.
No, Noni, it's so good. It's so good, dude.
Yeah.
It's so good.
When is that dropping?
That's the question, right? That's the question.
You're the only one who has the answer.
And it's really a case of like, do I want to put out a project? Do I want to let you guys know what the sound sounds like via a single? But it's so good. It's so different. And I'm working with new producers too. Really musical guys. So I hope that you guys recognize that it's like really musical stuff. It's not a beat and a verse.
Yeah.
Here, I'm good at what I do.
Okay.
Like we're really working on like some really epic, cinematic, orchestral,
Ooh.
large sounds, like big music.
Okay, Metro Boomin. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I really just want to make music that's gonna make somebody feel something tomorrow, and that's what I'm working on right now.
Okay, that's dope.
So, and it's gonna be good, yeah.
All right, so hopefully 2024 we get a taste.
Definitely 2024.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, where can people follow you on social media? What else?
I might put out a Christmas album before that.
Please don't do that. Christmas is set for Mariah Carey. Don't compare. Don't compete.
Do you remember DMX's Christmas song? Yeah, Rudolph the Red Nose. I might put out something like that.
Don't do
I'm
it.
kidding.
If you want to kill your career, go ahead.
Please follow me on social media, Jesse_Suntele_, all social media platforms. See, I made a decision on social media at least.
Yeah.
The same name.
There you go.
Jesse_Suntele_, all social media platforms. Follow me, give me a shout out.
Yes. Hopefully we'll have you back when the music is out. We can talk more about the album and the new direction.
Yes.
And then we can just dive into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it so much. And yeah, man, keep on pushing, keep on creating, keep on giving us a little bit more.
I will. I will never stop.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for watching. Keep on liking, subscribing, commenting, letting us know exactly what you like, what you don't like, who you want to see, who you don't want to see. And of course, catch us next week.